and this is where we get loud. Let's make some noise. All right, my name is Brian. I'm going to be your host this evening. We have a 20-spot open mic. That's 3 minutes per spot. Please be mindful of your time. We only have so much time in this room, so 3 minutes per spot. If you go past 3 minutes, we will ring the bell. You got about 15 minutes to land the bird after that. If not, 15, not minutes, not at all. 15 seconds. Or we will start ringing the bell loudly, clapping, doing whatever is necessary. This is a open for all ages event, so please alert the audience if you have any particular content warnings. You think something might be trigger worthy, just let us know so anybody that needs to take care of themselves in that situation has the opportunity to do so. I'd like to thank the venue for having us, thank our bartenders for taking care of us, and of course, please make sure you tip your bartenders. And this holiday season, every year, we have our anthologies. So we have until Wednesday before the due date for the anthology. That's Wednesday at 11:59. Do not treat this like a college essay. Please get it a little earlier for our president, Kimberly, who's out of town right now, so she can get this all taken care of. But if you read anything this last year, up to 3 pieces you can submit for them to be published into our yearly anthology, which you will be able to buy at the merch cart at our next anthology release party. And if you would like any of the previous anthologies or any other merch, you come on over here to Roland merch cart at the end of the show. You get all your holiday gifts fulfilled that way. All right. We got a little bit of that housekeeping out of the way. Let's go ahead and get this started with our first reader tonight, Alan Burkett.
Hi everyone. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. And to you too. Okay. I've got one poem tonight, which I wrote this morning. When prayer becomes bone. Maybe it begins quiet, the way water remembers a riverbed long after the river's gone. A shape the body keeps, even in drought. At first, you think you're only whispering into the dark, asking for a little mercy, some light tossed your way, like a coin flipped into a wishing well. You don't notice how the voice changes, how it steadies, how it begins to rise from deeper ground. But then, one morning, you're carrying plates to the table, sunlight warming the floorboards, and you hear yourself say, thank you. Not to anyone in particular, but to the way the world keeps showing up for you, even when you're not looking. Soon, everything becomes a kind of liturgy. The dog leaning into your leg, the smell of oranges opening the kitchen, even the ache in your knees, like a hinge staying open to wonder. It's not that life gets easier. It's that you learn to live with both hands open, palms cupped like small boats waiting for whatever the day sets down. You learn the strange alchemy of turning fear into breath, breath into offering. And then, almost without knowing, you feel it living in you, not as a plea or a promise, but as a steady inner warmth, a lantern you didn't realize you'd been tending. Prayer becomes the quiet companion walking beside you, the soft doorway you pass through again and again, until even your name sounds like a small and shining yes. Thank you.
believe I heard someone ask about signing up. We still have 2 slots left. When I get done, I'll get you on here. Anybody else interested in that last slot, you just go ahead and find me over here. Also, we are live streaming on Facebook right now, so if you do not want to be on the live stream, just come let me know and we'll move your name to the bottom of the list and then cut it before you go. All right, so our next reader coming up to the stage, let's put our hands together for Jason. Hello.
Hello. I tried it out just to see, and your name doesn't taste the same. Just one of 1,000 leaves I'm dropping. Couldn't even guess when it fell, but like initials carved in bark. I could tell what was there then by what isn't now, with dappled light lapping at my deadfall, dancing through the copper ochre amber on the ground. This is a season in perpetual passing, constant casting off. This moment, like any moment, will pass, will seep into the soil and sustain life. Somewhere in there is your name, both in my mouth and decaying, and I must assume newly sprouting somewhere else.
All right, amazing read from Jason there. All right, so I know I said it before, and I'm going to keep saying it. It's going to get annoying. We're going to have a quiz at the end of this, and I hope we all pass. You should if you have ears. Wednesday, anthology. Make sure you get them in if you want it to be in this year's anthology. All right? Let's give a out loud round of applause for our first time reader, Joyce.
I have always known my worth. I've known it resolutely, without doubt or question, because I had parents that never missed an opportunity to help form those core beliefs, to help guide my inner voice. Fat skank. What are you, stupid? Worthless. So this looks like 6-year-old me going on my first diet, annoying my mother as I march in place while I wash my hands. Barely tall enough to reach the kitchen sink, but already obsessing with moving more so my body would be less. Are you sure you need to be eating that? This looks like 14-year-old me assuming the identity I've been given wholly. I changed my online screen name, lowercase n, capital A, inadequate. He's too good for you. He's going to realize and leave you for someone better. This looks like 16-year-old me discovering that physical pain dulls the sting of emotional pain. I can carve the words that get stuck in my head onto my skin and release them. Out of my head and onto my skin. Somehow the word slut doesn't seem as bad when it's written on my stomach in caps. It looks like not being able to take a compliment. It looks like erasing myself to please others before they even ask. It looks like making my entire identity about the people I love and what I can do for them. I will help you follow your dreams because I know I don't deserve any. I became a mother, and I could tell you all about my family, but I couldn't think of one interesting fact about myself that did not revolve around them. And now it looks like therapy. It looks like finally questioning the lies I was taught from birth. It looks like discovering and embracing who I am for the first time. It looks like standing up for myself. It looks like removing people from my life. It looks like pissing people off. It looks like I'm worth more than we thought.
Yeah!
All right, let's hear it again for our first time reader, Joyce. Thank you, and please come back anytime. All right, next up to the stage, we have Mike.
Hi,
have two poems that are short. The first one is called Biogenesis, Chronicle of Pregnancy. That day I recall, it rained for hours. The night air was balmy, infused with the dark smell of moss and damp bark. Restless I rose but didn't wake. A full moon lit my path. A fairy ring of mushrooms encircled the spring, teeming with life. From my waist hung a clay cup. I feel you inside me, familiar, together, now and forever. I found you, or you found me. You drank with abandon, filling your veins with my blood. Before we met, I knew you. We shared one heart. Now you lay warm, naked against my breast, brooding for sustenance. I found you, or I found me. You drank with abandon, filling your veins with my blood. That's it. The second one is called Saint Shalom. It's a dog poem. In my 70 I have known many sinners, but I've only known one saint. In this life, she's known as Saint Shalom, though she's lived many lives and has had many names spanning the millennia. Her name is both salutation and farewell. Shalom, we met in peace. Shalom, we part as friends. Her eyes work fine, but Saint Shalom is blind to evil. Whoever she meets, Shalom only sees the good in them. If Shalom had met Adolf Hitler, Shalom would have hopped into his lap, licked his fingers, and doubted out her tongue to give him sugar. Even an evil, bloodthirsty sociopath must contain some small shred of goodness, and goodness is all that Saint Shalom can perceive. In this life, Shalom is a small golden dog, but she's no more an ordinary dog than the prophet Elijah was an ordinary man. Shalom is not my dog. She has a close bond with my wife, a wonderful person, but she's no saint. Shalom is not my master, nor my servant. I am her devotee, her acolyte. She has no words. She has no words, but her message emanates from her like light from the sun. I'm no saint either, but I've lived a life of service and even saved a few lives. In my 70, I've known only one saint, but that's one more than most. As the dust settles on my life, it's not too late, I hope, to become a better man, to hate less, to love more, to see the goodness in everyone, like Saint Shalom.
Thank you so much, Mike. All right, before we get on to our next reader, I would just like to mention that Out Loud is a spoken word community. Since 2014, we are a nonprofit organization, so if you would like to make any donations, please just go to outloudhsv.com or come over to our cart at the end of the show. If you need to make any holiday gifts, purchases, once again, come over by the cart. So next up, to the mic, let's make some noise for Mel.
Mel.
Yes.
Hi. Hi, Ellen. How are you? Great.
Awesome. Can I say the F word? Will
Yeah.
anybody be offended?
Trigger warning.
Okay, no, I won't. Oh, okay.
Joyce. Slut and scabs was fucking powerful. I just want to say that. Anyway. As we transition into winter weather, often there is another re-emergence, merely in the act of gathering together. Inhale. Within reason, every unimportant detail, reducing reactions down to scale. Guard fingers. Between the gift-wrapped paper cuts and trying family fisticuffs, we tie up schedules and bows. Personally, I never quite perfected the bunny ears when attempting to get a simple ribbon just right, see. These stubby fingers aren't as nimble as they used to be. Too short, too long, too fat, too thin. I gotta confide though, not with pride. My fingers, just like me, rarely fit comfortably in holes of 3. Wait, before your mind goes the way of the gutter, let me tell you a little bit about me. I'm a blind bowler. No striped pin or inky pen falls at random or unexpected tandem, nor do these thoughts and lines remain in any folder. Breath is just a poorly timed placeholder. Perhaps I could be bolder. I'm a realist with a penchant for fiction. So feel free to debate my addiction. Want a New Year's prediction? In every situation, I'll get caught up, because life's amazing, gazing past the haunt of cloud benediction, memorize and cauterize the shrouds hanging above both historical divides and rhetorical walls that shake and collide. Picture presidential portraits peeling away their own pride, tearing themselves into confetti, ready to litter Pennsylvania Avenue, or maybe they're more like Hansel and Gretel's breadcrumb glitter. Gravity's a heavy hitter. Desperately trying to drop her clues, the universe sings her blues, teaching us how to train our tongues to swallow pride. Slapping of boots on the ground and screams outside somehow sound distant and hollow now. This particular variety of sobriety collects its dues, and we howl, shunning notoriety. Does the thought make you sweat? Quick, think fast. I'll toss you a towel. Or better yet, hand me a sharpened trowel to perform surgical introspection, express in decibels of manifestation. This new form of progress, or manufactured destination, cracks before it hardens. We've all seen the facts fall following the pardons. Insurrection still smolders. A painfully slow pour. Hands are cut off at the knees, both of the rich and the poor. How incredible is this sound of an empty crucible echoing negative air? But how credible it is that we were always bound to remain, both wittingly and blissfully, unaware.
All right, thank you so much, Mel. That was amazing. Okay, coming up next to the mic, let's give a warm welcome to Andy.
Okay, well, I'm kind of like experiencing a significant anniversary of something that's unpleasant to me, so I feel spicy tonight, and I have spicy things to say, and I'll just let the poems speak for themselves. So here goes. Save me from the quiet misogyny that men are soldiers who need only rations and women never get lost in the fog of war. The belief that men who do no harm are impotent and women of violence disappeared after civil rights like American cryptids. That only men carry burdens, that only women carry emotions, that real men must buy more guns and real women don't know how to use them. That fight or flight is a survival skill and emotional hypervigilance is a virtue. That men are the ones who make mistakes and women are the ones who make babies. That a crying woman needs to be held always, and a crying man always needs to be fixed. That men must always be takers, and women must surely all be givers. That men are self-made earners, and women must be savers who can't save themselves. Save me from the knife that is obscured to me. Save me from the nice people tyranny. The same that told me to love a woman instead of myself, that sanctioned me for being soft with a noose around my neck made of my own tenderness. Who only thinks I'm brave when I'm hurting someone, only thinks I'm lovable if there's a woman in my bed. And fuck the misogynists who claim that women can do no harm. I believe in you, trust me. But next time, instead of living out of your wounds like a suitcase, instead of cursing the patriarchy while you hide in its arms, maybe crush the head of the serpent that is choking the life out of us both. This one's short and sweet, Christmas themed, and extra spicy. Here we go. King Herod owns a tower in Manhattan, plays golf with powerful men who don't care about his body count of wives, surrounds himself with people who always say yes, who are trained not to duck and cover from the promises and threats that fly from his mouth like extorting bullets, spends Christmas protecting his throne. Where has the light of integrity gone? Who hath believed our report? Jesus, Mother, Mary, and Joseph on a donkey, deported to Mexico, hiding in a boat, dodging maverick missiles. The government is on their shoulders, breathing down their neck, chasing Epstein's list, wrapped in swaddling clothes. Wise men still seek him to unalive the truth and bury it in Fox News. From the ICE raids in Chicago, trigger warning, to the children buried under Indian schools. There is no room in the inn for the truth that has immigrated to our doorstep.
All right, one more time for Andy. That was amazing. Okay, pop quiz, real quick. This should be pretty obvious. What is special about the 24th?
The anthology.
There we go. None of that other stuff. All right. So, Christmas Eve is cool too. Up next to the stage, we have a first-time reader. So let's give him a special out loud. Welcome to Beatrice.
Freezing cold, the loneliness, the dark foretold. The tales of old warned me about the long night and the piercing light. At the end of the icy maze, my tired eyes are now ablaze. The injured vines of my heart growing again with a new spark. What could have been, I left behind. What could be, I want to find. A winter of necessary mourning, giving place to a new beginning. This is my solstice.
Right, one more time for the first time reader. Please come back many times. All right, and next up we have Cassandra.
Before I begin, I would be remiss if I didn't tell you all and invite you to come see Lizzie, opening January 16th in this same speakeasy. And you'll all come see us, right? Instead of something original this time, I would like to share one of my favorite poems by Robert Burns, To a Mouse. Why Slake and Curran, Towers Beastie! Oh, what a panic's in thy breasty. You may not start to way so hasty with bicker and brattle. I'll be labouring and chase thee with mirth and paddle. I'm truly sorry, man's dominion, this broken nature social union that justifies that ill opinion that makes thee startle at me. Thy born companion and fellow mortal. I don't know what's thou may thief. What then? For beastie, thou may leave. A day my nicker in a three's a small request. I'll get a blessing with a leave and never miss. Though we could see two in Rome. And silly walls the winds are strewing. Another now to be new in a foliage green. And bleak December's winds and so by snow and king. You saw the field lay bare and vast, and weary winter coming fast, and cozy here beneath the blast, leave thought to dwell. Till crash, the cruel coulter passed out through thy cell. That we but it believes is civil is costing many a weary nibble. But thou's turned out for all thy trouble, but else her hold. But though the winter sleet ye dribble, and Cromwell called. But Moosey, thou art no the lane, and proven foresight may be vain. The best laid schemes of my sandmen get off the glade, and leave us not with grief and pain for promised joy. But still, thou art blessed compared with me. The present only toucheth thee. But I backward cast my eye at prospects drear, and forward, though I cannot see, I guess in fear.
Thank you, Cassandra. And yes, make sure you check out Lizzie. It's going to be right here. I've got my tickets. Make sure you get yours too. Speaking of Lizzie, up next, Emma Rose.
Hi guys. Seriously, do come and see Lizzie. It's gonna be so good. Okay. My first one is called Freeze Response. And a trigger warning for childhood trauma. When you go back into the memory, you can do whatever you want to get you to safety. Frostbite snips at my wrists and my waist, touching the fingerprints and bruises first. I'm freezing faster than my brain can process. My therapist's voice is becoming distant, far away, though my body sits upright on her leather couch. Go into that and see and feel that again? I clutch my chest and reflex, slight warmth returning to palms as I push and push against ice and fingers pulling the knuckles back, making him bend till he is at my height, forced to look into my eyes that match his. Cold leeches into him and I snap, finger by finger. We both scream and scream and scream. I scream as I raise thumbs to his eyes, brown, green, and gold, rich like earth and moss. My eyes also feel the pressure as I push into those eyes that used to looked at me, saw my face, my body flinch and freeze. Press harder. Scream until I'm on fire and his eyes pop and run like yolk down his cheeks. Mangled, blind, and cold. I stand and look down. I smile, and I'm warm, and my hands are clean. I have one more short one. This one's called Quiver. An arrow and a quiver strapped to your back, tufted and sharpened, your bowstring taut, middle and forefinger bent as a string is flush with your cheek. A dozen arrows, the fullest quiver of your silver-bearded friends. You shot that arrow at my own heart, pierced me to the target. Your smile falters as you see the blood dribble at my teeth and spill down my chin. No, that's not what I meant. The world, you say, not realizing as that vision winked out in my eyes. You stumble, dropping bows and arrows strewn on the grass. Your blood in my veins coats your hands as you cover the hole and cup my neck. Your daughter died in your arms. Dear carcasses hang in trees, and the children stand on the porch and scream. You see the memory in my dead eyes of that day, of when she snapped the arrow and drew a blade instead.
Thanks, guys.
All right, another round of applause for Emma Rose. As we approach the halfway mark of the show this evening, I just want to make sure you all know that the anthology is due on the 24th, all right? All right. Also, I believe it's the 24th, right? There you go. Also, we sell a membership for Out Loud. It's only $25, very, very simple dollars. For 1 year annual membership, you get access to our Discord server, access to discounts for all of the merch, meetups, workshops. It's the newsletter, which you can have access to if you just give us our email at the card over here at the end. But it's worth it. You get more access to the community. I highly recommend it. All right, coming up next, we have Grant.
Hey, it's been a minute. Your work. Do you know where the roses grow? I dreamt of more and hoped for less. Wondered why and wide along the road that heaven sent. Saw the big sky country of my father's home. Red rocks in the desert, mountains on the high. The gardens that my mother knew and the ruins of the old. Pictures on the rocks like castles still that stand. It's roses and roses. Just roses and roses. Neon streetlights on the bend for folks who pray to raincoats, wondering why the dry must die. If you walk along the road and search for safety on a desert isle off the coast of Venezuela, then it's cactus thorns and rosebud storms. It's alpine lakes by torn up tents that tend to let the water in, and you wonder why the dry must die. If you hear the call of the dreamer in the realm of the sleeper, and the silence of the neon brights burns a hole in all your flying kites, then you too know that's where the roses grow. Anyway, when in disgrace, as if to lie upon fortune's smile and whisper back with half deceit or falsehood, neither true nor not a visage of the past, so in delight of complexity catch the baleful wind, to see a garden growing wild and beautiful past all realms of reason, to astound in simple pleasures like the earth, that cold-grown rind that circles deeper hells, past stranger seas and lofty stars, we may yet encounter love or carefree aspirations, more likely hardship all the same, to distant lands and of the hands that join in effort to construct some logic that defies the desert sands and castles older than the tales of lizards that came to us upon the ice, scattering things of little import, and yet of dreaming still we dream, nor should we stop or stoop so low. Better still to see the heights of wonder and delight, and yet in lament, goodbye until another time.
Okay, thank you very much, Grant. Up next to the stage, we have SJ.
Oh, it's too short. Not that short. Hang on, I wasn't ready. While I'm finding this, you should all come to Lizzie, because it's going to be really fun. We're taking over this entire space. It's going to be an immersive musical experience. It's going to be a good time. Okay. When? Oh, it opens January 16th, and it runs for 3 weekends. So 3 weekends in January. We've got a QR code over there if anybody wants to scan it. But there was an anthill swarming around me where I sat, resigned to be bitten and eaten whole. Like apples stolen from a picnic cartoon blanket, marched down the throat of the anthill. 6 legs on blue skirts with birthday cake glossed edges, sugar crystals one by one, and the ants go marching one by one, and 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. And I'm just watching them go, feeling them bite. I'm idly the devil's plaything as I pull one segmented body from my skin and roll it between my fingers until it's in 3 pieces, dusted from my fingers to fall wherever the fallen things go. And then I have one more. Is it the house's fault that it's haunted? You took my layers, my organs, put them into jars with honey to the brim, neutralize, preserve. Did you know that human hair never decays? Rapunzel with a hair-made knot jumping from a life soaked with tower moments. If the body falls and breaks, how many horses and how many kingsmen? I'm not to be put together again, but to rise suspended on air, to have my heart and liver unfolded from the fabric I'm sewn into. Neutralize, preserve. Wait until I need them in another life, fattened and sweetened by honey. Honey doesn't rot either. There are tombs with hair and honey and bone and dried hands twisted over hollow breastbones. Someone already stole the coins from my eyes to tip the driver, to pay the tab, to keep the lights on, flicked into a well in exchange for a wish that you're not allowed to speak. Thanks.
Amazing work as usual from SJ. Okay, up next, let's put our hands together for Beth.
Evening, lovelies. How we doing? Yeah. No, it's okay, darling. We know that you're measured in Kit Kats. By the way, that's become a joke within Lizzie every time we talk about the costume designer or something. I was like, I was rough about the latest Kit Kat. And the same size. So it's going to be half phone and half book because I was trying to edit it down to a timeline that is rational. I am the director of Lizzie, and I don't give a fuck what your plans are. It's Lizzie now. Heard?
Heyo.
Ding ding. Alright, so, for those of you who've heard me speak here before, you may have met me other than you see me now. Strange things have happened. I last here appeared as a plurality, traveled backwards in time and came back to singularity. Strange things in mental health journeys lead us to strange outcomes. Nice to meet you again. Oh, that was just an intro. Fuck. So this is called Fates. Balmy sun drenching, one skin unflinching, searching for unlikely shade. Registering internally, stillness internally, this darkness whispers again. Mineral, watering, taste buds, discovering the rich, the dark, the well. Memory uncovering, irrational, discovering no water, no dark, no hell. Hook begins dissecting, spirit root connecting, the call, the haul, the way. Fearing the calling, visions of calling the night, the light, the day. Nowhere appearing, everywhere endearing. The passage, the gate, the goal. Ephemeral, glowing, half-light, bestowing, the end, the portal, of fate. Suddenly arriving, instantly departing, cries of sadness and pain, sensation retreating, mundanity entreating, screams of frustration remain. Pages drifting, simultaneous shifting, constructs defy time refraining, perilous dreaming, waking, unseeming, the playground cries out in pain. Chemical dismembering, taste buds remembering, the call, the hollow, well, following the hollowing, side roads all following, the sight, the blight, the bell. Dimly glowing, feather fall snowing, the path, the rack, the way. Ghostly soul singing, Lord's blade stinging tonight, the end today. Finally arriving, instantly departing, cries of bleeding shape-shifting dichotomous stricken heart spirits numb refrain. Dangerous intaking, surrender the waking, echoes blunder the blame. Playground cries out in pain. Mineral watering, taste buds tottering. The rich, the dark, the well. Let's see if I can follow along with my phone exactly where I left off alone. Questions abandoning, reckless understanding, sign symbols light the path. Atop concrete branding, atop discreet landing, vine thimbles fight the math. Rooftop churning, never mind the railing, magic at last, the gasp. Spirit scaling, never mind the failing, magic within my grasp.
All right, let's keep making some noise with that. Thank you so much. And while we're doing that, let's keep making some noise for another first-time reader, Stephanie.
Hello. I'm Stephanie. My pronouns are she, her, they, them. This poem was inspired by someone I met recently and a show I was watching that helped me accept myself to a greater depth so that I could speak my own truth. On another note, people hold 1,000 truths inside of them and at least one lie. I hope you're brave enough to speak your truth. This first poem is called The Shedding and Asexual Appropriation. The sexual undulation of the heart, swaying as the pendulum with fervent glances. They revel in the anticipation, but my thoughts unfurl just as a snake sheds its skin in my dark contemplation. For the longest time, I felt nothing, playing into people's games of attraction, blending into the world to reach a certain satisfaction. The connection to myself is all I feel. Can I truly be drawn to another? I'm afraid to tell them these empty feelings. Am I unlovable if I can't love someone? We're all connected to the herd mentality. I represent the things I love, not the person you want me to be. I've been cut off from the world since my own inception. I won't touch their body if their soul has no reception. I find comfort in the unknown, my deception. They're afraid we can forge our own path ahead. We can make friends asexually, fulfilling our life's purpose, simple as it might be. Let me connect to your idiosyncrasies. That was the first poem. Second poem, untitled. Am I in the place I need to be, giving myself and others purpose? If someone looks at me lovingly, is that love? It's okay to treasure each other, treasure the moment. Connection is intangible. Thoughts aren't always manifested, but thoughts speak from the heart. Open yourself up to new experiences with familiar faces. Express your inner child. Just love someone for the sake of love. Throw your arms around your friends with consent. Let a smile light your face. That northern star is yours. Facing your fears to embrace yourself. To live is to be challenged. Love and let go in love. The tides of change take us. New shores we call our own. Thank you.
We love a first-time reader. Let's make some more noise. Thank you, and please come back many times. Up next to the mic, we have Christina.
Hi, everybody.
This might be spicy. A dragon's satisfaction. Have I become the dragon? The one who breathes, singeing the hair too close? I seem to be happy to unfurl my glorious inferno, to burn your dull death away, your chaff and malarkey, your foolishness and arrogance, your expectance. That explosive gook you use to wipe your feet off all over another is my gasoline, your end and excrement. It is you, deeming yourself king cheese from down under, of what? Another form of disease and sleaze, a darkness you call light, the only thing you really rule. I laugh at your foolishness, your ugliness, your plight. I no longer care, your blood is on my tongue. I have a taste for you, eyes for you. You gave me the sword of orange, red, and gold, as you love that there are others to help, to control, to maneuver, to make you feel big. Abusing and manipulating and using them while they are weak, while they are down. As a matter of fact, you love to think for them and make sure they feel weak. Your self-righteous hand, your unaware rule, your self-importance. Though you look teeny-weeny to me, small-minded and rather fragile, it's all your puny attempt to feel bigger, better. True confidence? Not really. Maybe as a street fighter. This dragon loves burning through it, not feeling so bad for you anymore. Why bother? You wasted time enough with your perversion, your looks so grotesque to me that suddenly I have no resistance to filling your lack with my attack. A hack of billowy smoke is the only warning you'll get. Somehow I crave to blow my lips of disintegrating lava to make you kick. Involuntary contractions force the infant from the womb. Liberty's heat dissolves the cord and sets free, pushing through to the new. Here comes my fire, my damnation, my indignation at your ugly, at your lie. Every drop of fuel you release with each snicker of conceit are fodder. The nuggets of real self-worth, real self-love are not given over by those who fawn, who faint, who fear, who shake at your accusing words from doltish, incapable thought of no real worth. Your kingly stature merely gained by removing the smile of another. Here is a good adage. What was stolen was never yours. You merely perpetuate your own rampage of consumption as though you have no energy of your own, fueling yourself and other people's misery. This is your place where you many have hidden, falling into tombs. This is your cult of one. And I am done. No cigarette necessary. Little slivers bellow and billow, snaking to the sky as I roll back my eyes. The air now so clean, how the flame it does purify. I return to ecstasy as I relax with a deep and perfect sigh.
All right, thank you very much, Christina. Coming up next to the stage, let's make some noise for Paul.
This is a rough idea. I wrote it as I figured out that there was an open slot available.
Shit.
Chlorine. With an electric kick, I have cut out the metallic dead weight keeping me grounded. I am now a screaming halide, reactive and corroding, gregarious with the lone electron in my orbital, binding and bonding and breaking on my own whims. Only possible now that I am separated from my basic, caustic, salty ionic pair.
Another amazing last-minute poem. Thank you very, very much. All right, let's get it going for another first-time reader. Give them a special out loud welcome to Catherine.
She asks if the flowers are beautiful once they are broken, and if they are, why does the garden leave them behind? I tell her it is a flower's doom, the soil never promised to be kind. It's a dangerous world for delicate things. She kneels beside the trampled stems, bruised petals cradled in her hands. Their colors fade like breath from the body, their scent barely clinging to the edges of silence. She asks, do they know they are dying? Did they know they were lovely? Did the wind ever stop to admire them? I know no answer for her sadness. What comfort is there in truth that wilts? Some things are made to be ruined just for the way they reach, for how they ask the sun to love them back. She gathers their soft remains, holding them like a prayer. She lays them down softly like a vigil and whispers. They still smell of warmth. They still remember light. And I think, let the earth take them, fold them gently into its dark freedom. No altering, no lamenting, only the ache that clings to what was once reaching. Let the sun remember them, if no one else will.
Keep it going for a first-time reader, Catherine. Thank you very much. Please come back many, many times in the future. All right, as we head into this last stretch of readers this evening, I would be remiss if I did not remind you that if you read tonight, you can get your work that you read in this anthology. You just got to make sure you get it in by when?
Wednesday, 24.
There we go. That's good enough. All right. Coming up next, Charlie.
Oh wow, this is the first time I've got up here and this mic has been at my height. I'm shocked. Thank you, Paul. Paul, a delightful human being. Very grateful for them reading before me. All right, so this first one is about some time I spent up at a lake that was frozen over in northern Minnesota, and it doesn't have a name, but the name of the area was the Secret Blackstone. With cold and silence, I sit on water's edge, no movement or sound, reflecting water, galaxy lights on the surface, like gems dazzling bright, painted in starlight, the traces of a deeper place upon a cold face, perspective given to the one traveler's view of untraveled roads. You are small and here, remember the perspective. My mind finds rest here. This place gave a gift, and I will take it with me now, and I will not forget. The second one is just about a party, so have fun with that. The warmth of the hearth, sense from the hearty soup, and the crunch of bread breaking, the sound of laughter, an orchestra of joy, music of the crowd. Dancing and hugging, moving with lighter feet from the weight from hearts removed. Glasses and spirits raised and toasts made to each other, to great friends in better times. Singing songs older than God, sung shoulder to shoulder and out of tune, but together. Tired but pressing on, midnight oil burning for the fear of the departed. But now the party ends with hugs and goodbyes and dreams of the next gathering.
All right, I am not this tall. Drop that down here. All right, thank you very much, Charlie. Coming up to the stage, we have Maya.
Brian, are we the same height?
Probably.
This is like the perfect height for me. This doesn't have a title. It's the one I read last time, but edited and expanded. Trigger warning for like mommy issues and shit. I've been begging since I exited the womb. Asking in every way I knew how, knew to, impulse born from the fist at the base of the brain. Biting as I sucked milk from my mother's chapped brown tits, thin pink lips wrapped around the tender areola, could she not know? From the stinging of my new-toothed gums, the sour scent of saliva bubbling round my desperate mouth send some cell or signal stop infection at the start. Ripping screams with child-sharp nails from the soft flesh of my newborn sister's thighs, could she not tell the difference? Hear us both when she pulled my sister close, hummed and soothed and sang, never saw the raw red crescents, the only evidence of my cry. Stuffing peels and crusts and crumbs left from my starved gluttony beneath the bed, my stomach distended hard and thin before me. Could she not see the wasting of my body, smell the rot of years of food turn dust and liquid, solidifying into disease? Sucking beneath sweat-soaked cheeks, some man's velvet hardness choking me. Could she not see what happened to her was happening to me, my body turning inside out to accommodate his need? I cannot speak, but to scream. I've been answered, and I think, in the ways they knew how, knew to, and could. Is it not painful keeping your eyes on open wounds? I thought this is what we all were doing, that the violence was just a part of living. Thank you.
Amazing as usual from Maya. Let's get a little bit more noise, guys. Thank you. All right, we got our last two readers this evening. I just want to make sure I say thank you to you all for coming out for this holiday season. And if you want to, as I said, get some gifts right there at the merch stand, right at the end of the show. So do that. All right, coming up next, we have Lucas.
Woo! Yeah!
One of my, y'all like my hands. One of my favorite holiday movies is The Polar Express. So in the spirit of that, here's a poem about a train that has nothing to do with Christmas. I wandered into a jungle mountain town late one spring, dragging behind me every memory I could bring. But I was carrying too many things when I got lost downtown. So, in a midnight park full of shadow swing dancers, I asked a lonely tambourine man for directions to some answers. I said, refresh me on my manners, you musical stage clown. The tambourine man, he said, take a ride on the Blue Mountain train. It's a good place for cowboys like you to hide when it starts to rain. Find the cure for your pain somewhere between here and there. But remember, living is a gamble, loving's much the same. And the Blue Mountain train won't carry any blame. So for now, tuck away your shame. You'd be the only one who'd care. In the train cars, nobody sits drinking alone. And nobody gives a damn how many kings or queens you've known, or if you're a rolling stone or a troubadour of conscience. Don't mind my wandering lazy eye, or your ticker tape stutter. Hear the poets and the farmers hear the same diamond thunder. The Blue Mountain train conductor only makes you that promise.
So, full of the future, I thanked the tambourine man for his time and tumbled down the mountain to where the burn brass chimed. I bought my ticket for 8 cents less than a dime, then stepped back and waited. On the platform, there was a princess swallowing a silver dagger, begging me not to tell her mother and blame it on her father, the gambler. She was the most normal rambler this mountain had created. Leaning on a bench, I could see undead wizards, laser beam soldiers, and bears dressed up as lizards. There was a fish who owned vineyards and a group of book smugglers. I saw a cold rock smoking a cigarette and a gold coin locked in great debt. There was not a much more honest place you can get than among these rambling regulars. When the Blue Mountain train pulled into the station, it looked like it was built from temptation. With its platinum wheels, rotation, and the brass smokestack, sunrise beamed at us through stained glass windows, and from the doors came a flamboyance of flamingos, and they introduced all the heroes to the wisecrack. The Joker Man walked us down crimson velvet hallways, and he would jump up and kiss the jaded doorways. He said the travelers on these Blue Mountain railways don't go to sleep, but they don't wake up either. They all come carrying their own dreams and versions of what life means. Everybody's got a scheme to get a better hand from the dealer. In the bar car, there was barely any room to stand as they all huddled around a portrait of an angry young man whose life didn't go according to plan and looked a lot like me. Like he was born looking for a fight or looking to get out of here on the next flight. Always looking for the light, but never trying to see. The wisecrack, with his moonbeam silk glove, passed the bottle around, this nonstop, always moving, gilded hostel. I said, God, don't you feel awful? Throwing a party while the rest of the mountain is drowning? He said, let us forget about today until tomorrow. What good is a cup full of sorrow? There aren't any days of your life you can borrow, so why bother counting? I learned the Blue Mountain train won't make anything any better, so to shield you from colder weather and make you altogether strong enough to see you the next day. The conductor, she said, know this, cowboy, there'll be plenty of times in life it starts to rain, and you'll be drowning in foggy mountain morning pain. But you can always hop on the Blue Mountain train and have a place to stay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lucas. Before I bring up our final reader this evening, I would like to thank the venue one more time. Thank you to Speakeasy and our bartenders and staff for taking care of us. Please make sure you tip your bartenders and the staff. Finally, this evening, we have coming up, Grace.
Okay, I need a little bit of audience participation. Can you please do that for me? It's so simple. You're just going to vote for what I'm going to read because I can't make up my mind. And I read hers and then Lucas read his. Lucas, I can't see you. Do you want to hear menstruation as a cosmic lesson or Christmas magic can't fix capitalism?
Christmas magic. Christmas magic.
Unclear. So, 3 Christmases ago, I wrote this poem called Christmas Magic Can't Fix Capitalism. And I sort of knew it at the time, but didn't really know it at the time, that I was going to get divorced and that it was like my last Christmas with that family. And it was just like kind of a sad poem. And I revisited it recently and thought, wow, my life is so different now. And so this is Christmas Magic Can't Fix Capitalism Revisited. The children peck at Cara Cara oranges like little birds who have forgotten to fly south for the winter. Halves sit juiced and zested on the counter, cake rising in the oven for solstice. We eat slices at sunset, the cardamom warming our bellies, and we do not mention Jesus except to say people like telling stories this time of year.
It makes things feel magical. No snow forecasted anytime soon, so we romp at playgrounds, peel off dampened shirts before bath, read by the light of a fake fur purchased at 20% off the year after the divorce, because even Christmas magic can't fix capitalism. If I know nothing else at Christmas, I know what it is to be filled, and I know what it is to be emptied, to have every last drop pulled from your belly like a surgeon siphoning poison, except it isn't poison, it is your life. I remember the year we walked from one state to another on a suspension bridge. The year I spent 11 weeks alone and even longer knowing he would not return to me, nor I to him, and all I wanted was to freeze time like an icicle hanging from a tree branch. Our youngest child slept on his chest the last time I ever saw him feel safe there. And our eldest ran through the woods, beckoning his familial entourage to follow, and my mother wore my beanie, and we kept each other warm. I was up all night with a restless child. I was asleep in the afternoon. I kept a list of all the tasks dropping from my plate like marbles, watched them shatter on the floor, showing me my own reflection in the glassy shards. I swept them under the rug then. But at spring's first bloom, I buried them, fresh dirt below my window, and I left to let them grow wild. Thank you.
All right, thank you again to Grace. Thank you all for coming out this evening. So I was just alerted by my bell guy that I have a little bit of extra time, so I was going to read something, if that's okay. I've got my parents and out-of-town friend in the building, so I figured I'd go ahead and read this one that I read last time, so nothing new. This is called Icarus. From the trough to the barn, they know to sound the alarm when I step my 10 little piggies on their animal farm. I bring a certain kind of energy that spreads to the ponds, has them chin-checking kings and squaring up with the gods. I'm talking hands in the parking lot, Jason and the Argonauts. I keep a crew of dirty dudes that's down to dig a ditch or two. Don't let this calm demeanor have you thinking that I'm slipping, boo. We live to cut the bacon off the fattest backs like butchers do. So when they say he hides in heaven, please believe it's because I keep him there. Eyes on the prize like a ribbon in the county fair. It's ripping me to pieces watching children suffer cretins, because it seems to be the one consistent theme inside his thesis. Maybe I'm the asshole, maybe it all does come around, but I'ma still need to run that fade with you. I ain't giving up till I'm in the ground. I'm petty, baby, the long way. Heavy-handed with the dice play. Chances are you can buy the bar, but this stool here don't spin, babe. Most jump for that cash game. My wings flap when I see pain. Instincts hit like flip the board, shake the frame, break the chains. Because even if I do go down in flames, at least you'll know my fucking name. Thank you all for coming out. Make sure you get those anthologies in. Y'all drive safe. Make sure you check out Lizzie as well. Thank you.